vehicle starters survived the grueling event. The long overdue victory for Team Ford racing pair Neil Woolridge and Ken Scholthammer was a foregone conclusion in the closing stages of the race. Mark Renier and Chris Birkin were on their way to another remarkable podium finish in the Class E Castrol Toyota Hilux 2.7i. They had finished in the top 3 overall on 3 previous occasions and would end up being the only crew to finish all 8 events in the championship. In another giant-killing performance, Chris Visser and Jaapie Badenhorst were 3rd overall and 2nd in Class E in their Toyota Hilux, which completed the race with rear-wheel drive. Kutsia Labiskachny and Johan Gerber were 4th overall and the Class D leaders in the GBS Racing Nissan and had over 4 minutes in hand over rivals Marius van Vuren and Chris Maria in the Almirante Autospray Land Rover, which had suffered a broken steering rod on lap 1 that cost them 20 minutes to repair. They later lost front-wheel drive, but were able to continue and finish 5th overall and 2nd in Class D. Arpi Reineke and Robin Houghton made a great comeback on lap 2, but then a rear drive shaft failed again, and they had to complete the final lap with only front-wheel drive on the Castrol Toyota Land Cruiser. 6th overall and 2nd in Class T was just reward for their never-say-die effort. Polokwane-based brothers Yuri and Andre Duplessis were 7th overall and 3rd in Class E in the BB Auto Nissan Hardbody. They had a clean run and could add another podium finish to the 2 they already had. Hein Grobler and Gerard Prinsloo were not concerned about the Class D win because all they had to do was finish to win the Class D championship. They had a tense moment on lap 2 when a side shaft broke that necessitated a lengthy pit stop for repairs. Cliff and Louis Weichelt were 9th overall in the N1 4x4 Toyota Land Cruiser after a race-long tussle with the Atlas Copco Chicago pneumatic Jeep of Scott Abraham and Richard Carolyn, who ended the season level on points with Woolridge and Scholthammer, but were relegated to 3rd place in the Class T Championship by virtue of the Ford pair having one class win to their credit. Despite having to stop repeatedly to secure the bonnet on the DC Racing Nissan Terrano, the Van Reenen father and son crew managed to finish 11th overall and 4th in Class T, with Barbespan farmer Jannie Visser and Joks Leroux 12th overall and 5th in the class in the Toyota Hilux. Brothers Mark and Stuart Moffat brought the McCarthy Land Rover home 13th overall and 5th in Class D to record their 4th finish of the season, and were followed by the Class D Toyota Land Cruiser of Dion Venter and Rikus Erasmus, and last-placed finishers and Class F winners Jaap Zeeman and Johannes Bauwise in the DFS Ferrobrake Ford Cortina. The BP Nissan Harvard aerobatic team thrilled the crowd at the finish of the Carnival City Casino 400. Gary Berthold and Brandon Harkes had finally achieved their objective of winning a race overall. They did it in fine style, finishing almost 8 minutes ahead of the first production vehicle and over 30 minutes ahead of the next special vehicle. BAT Racing Vehicles had won 5 of the 8 rounds of the SA Off-Road Car Racing Championship presented by APSA and picked up the Class A Championship in the process.
Come on, guys!
It's taken us a long time to beat those Nissans, and I'm very glad that we were the ones that did it. First special vehicle in our BAT, managed to give the Nissans a run for their money. Also means the South African Championship for me as a driver and for Brandon as a navigator. This year, that was how we chose to do it, and South African Championship for BAT, which is really great.
Neil Woolridge and Ken Scholthammer's dream of being the ones to break the Nissan stranglehold on the production vehicle category was finally realized. The Team Ford Racing Ranger hadn't missed a beat all day and had the measure of the Nissans while they were still running. The Ford pair won the inaugural Carnival City Casino 400 in 2001, and victory was again theirs on an event that was voted the best organized in 2003.
Been 2 years. This Carnival City's been a race of of great hopes and of also a terrible thing. You know, last year we nearly wrote ourselves off and wrote the car off, so it wasn't good at all. But the year before in the wet, I think the first Carnival City we won, and we've now won it again. So yeah, it's fantastic to win again and break that Nissan stronghold. It's been a great race.
Number one.
Mark Renier and Chris Birkin stormed home second overall to cap a highly successful season.
What a run. Jeez, we were crawling the last couple of Ks. Yes, like I thought the guys were going to catch us, but fortunately, I don't know, they must have had problems as well. We were really taking it easy. The gearbox, third gear launched itself. We just heard this funny grating noise, and it just kept grating for about 30 or 40 Ks, and must have smacked the hole in the gearbox, and it got quiet. But then we saw the diff, and the gearbox temperatures get cool. So I'm sure there's no oil in the box. Just glad to get it to the end there.
The Class S win went to Nardus Alberts and Colin Hunter in a Rapsa Raceco.
Well, we've competed this time around. Fortunately, we had some competition in Class S, so that went better. The road conditions were very rough. There were some areas which I believe seemed to be a car breaker. I do not know how many cars have finished eventually, but it's very rough. But barring that, it's a beautiful terrain to race at. It's really special.
We've had the most stupid little problems, literally 5-cent parts that have gone wrong, and we've been leading most of the time this year. And just bad luck all the way through, but it's really great to make it through this today. It was a fantastic race. And it's a pity that all the guys dropped out. There were 24 entries, and it seems like there's only 2 left that I know of. Well, the guys we've been giving the times of Giel, he's about 13 behind. And fantastic race.
Giel Nell's consistency was rewarded with the SA Off-Road Car Racing Special Vehicle Drivers and Class B Drivers Championship crowns. Meticulous preparation has seen Nell finish more races in the Look Africa Truggy than any other team in the past 5 years.
It's a great feeling, taking the Class B again for the 3rd time in 5 years. And we've been twice overall in South Africa, twice, and then 3 times. Now also twice we've been 3rd, and now we've got, by the sound of it, we've got the overall championship. So it's a great feeling.
Former Class D champions Hein Grobler and Gerard Prinsloo finally reclaimed the crown they lost a few years ago when they crossed the finish line 8th overall and 3rd in Class D in the GBS Racing Nissan.
Uiteindelik het reg gekry. Met baie hard gewerk daarvoor, ons moet vir my span baie dankie sê, almal van hulle wat deel was van hierdie span. Dit was 'n wonderlike jaar gewees vir my. Dit was baie lekker om saam in hierdie span te wees. Ek is bevoorreg om dit te kon gedoen het. Baie dankie vir almal.
3 overall wins and the Class A championship for Bat Racing pair Gary Berthold and Brandon Harkis. Only 18 of the 39 special vehicle entries were able to complete the Carnival City Casino 400. The moment for which Team Ford Racing, Neil Woolridge and Ken Schultheimer had waited for 2 years had finally come. 15 of the 37 production vehicle starters were able to complete the grueling Carnival City Casino 400.